Alright, it's LP. We're back for another video. No, it's really cool because we're getting so close to being monetized, which means a complete 180 for the channel. What's interesting is I play a lot of copyright music on this channel. We all know that, especially when I go live. And my videos are getting dinged more than usual, and I think that is because we are getting closer and closer to being monetized. That or YouTube has just changed the way they've been doing things. So with that being said, we're going to have to go with some non-copyrighted music for the videos that going forward, because I do want to get monetized. I do not want my videos to be demonetized. You know, now we're talking money, right? We're talking money on the table here. Money on the table. So with that being said, let the NCS music roll. So here's what else I thought would be fun. Would be to go through some of the comments that you have all left for me on YouTube. And while I have not responded to every single one, nor will I do respond to some of them. And I'm going to read some of them here on air tonight. So I got a nice big list of comments here from a variety of videos. As I go through them, I'll let you know which ones they're from. I think you can guess that most of them are from videos done on Eric July. By the way, you want the secret to YouTube? Just do videos on Eric July. You get 1,000 views overnight. This is it. Get monetized within 2 weeks. Trey Storm Art, as of 59 minutes ago, commenting on the Draw and Talk Speaks on the comic book creators dropping like flies video. I suggest everyone go watch that. He says, quote unquote, "It doesn't take much to write these stories." He's quoting me there. He says, "Depends on the type of story. I really struggle personally to fit a good read into just 24 pages, which is why I'm not a pro writer yet. If you have big expectations for your writing, it can be very taxing. Mostly, I think people are getting in their own way a lot of the time, and I think people should be like anything they write down. Entitlement is omnipresent these days." Here's the thing. When I said that line, it doesn't take much work to write these stories, I didn't mean to diminish the hard work that people do put into their stories. I'm saying for me, having read comics for so long, and knowing all the superhero beats, and knowing what I want to see in comics and what I want to see out of Nyobi, and all the years of plotting and planning in my head, it really isn't that difficult. I guess for me is, what should be in there. Some stories have taken longer for me to write than others. True. He's right. It does depend on the type of story. But for me, it's the easiest part of the comic book making process, to be honest with you. Excuse me. This comment comes from Coffee Comics, is talking smack again. He says, to clarify, Pokemon not is only a good weed, but was a manga series from 2008-ish. It was about two high schoolers who want to become manga creators. The creators of the series are veterans in the industry, and they use their own experience of becoming mangaka to write the story. The series paints a semi-realistic portal of what one will go through in order to be a professional manga artist. What Coffee is referring to is that a lot of aspiring manga creators use Pokemon as a roadmap to become professionals. I gives what was smoking Pokemon is supposed to be. Okay, so what is Pokemon the king of the kings of the king of the kings? Is that the Batman of the mangaverse? Let me know. Another comment on the Coffee Comics thing. We got two guys going back and forth here. Coffee Comics seems to be an idiot black pillar. Whoa. He is taking his daily suppositories. Damn. This is my first time commenting here. Well, welcome, the brothers Scrin. Only just started listening to your channel. I feel bad for you. And while I think success can be measured in dollars to some extent, you gotta try. We French have a saying, bon oui, tendre la chance, tempted by fate. If you don't do it, you fail every time. This is true. Coffee would have everyone give up and never try. Hate that mentality. I was hawing for weeks about trying to crowdfund my novel. Now I gotta do is stick to this prig. Good on you for sticking it to him, Nyobu. Though I don't know how you could listen to him so much without getting depressed. No, that was a chore. Trust me on that. That was a chore. He's right about all stories needing iconic-looking villains and heroes. On that one, I'll give him that much. I find a lot of things in manga don't have, and I know I'm going to get shot for this, similar to design aspects that you would find in the American superhero market. Right? You know, we have iconic villains. We really do. We got Doctor Doom. We got Magneto. We got the Joker. Right? Names that sort of resonate throughout the ages. Right? I don't know what manga has. I barely know what manga is. I mean, that's a stretch. But I mean, I've never read a manga. The images I saw during Coffee Comics videos, they look like generic fucking villains you would see out of Dragon Ball Z. Almost all manga villains look like something I'll see out of Dragon Ball Z. Mike Guy 15 about an hour ago chimes in. He says the problem is it's blatantly hypocritical because in his own comic he has generic anime people fighting other generic anime people, and generic anime people is his go to art standards. I also believe that this is a matter of preference. There are some very successful looking heroes and villains. What matters more than anything is execution. Execute them. Execute Ota 66. These comic book rates are too damn high. Comment. If you are a nobody, expect to get paid pennies. Look, breaking into comic books is really hard. That's why a lot of people have gone the route to just making their own, right? But you still have people out there who are trying to get into the business by just being an artist for Marvel, or buying, or just trying to color pages for DC, or they want to be the next Donny Cates, okay? Instead of putting out their own stuff and getting noticed that way, they're still the guys that walk around the comic book con floor with their portfolio trying to find an editor to show their work to. Yeah, you kind of have to be someone to make the big buckaroos. I think that goes without saying. Why turn the display, the dislike display? Well, I didn't turn it off. YouTube automatically has it off. But I think it's better that it's off. Why give your haters an opportunity to go, look at how many dislikes this motherfucker got? No, you can guess. Actually, there's apps out there. If you really want to see those numbers, you can. But I'll tell you, the ratio is I still have more likes than dislikes. From Eric July's Not the Next Stan Lee. I have looked through your comments and looking at how you reply back to them. Let me say you're a bit jealous or something. No, I'm not jealous of Eric July at all. Another one says you sound a bit whiny. No, here's the thing. I don't care about Eric July. Well, if you don't care about Eric July, why do you talk about him? Because it gets me clicks from people like you. See, I'm on a mission to get monetized. And I'm smart enough to go, I'm in the world of comics. Eric July's in the world of comics. Eric July says a lot of controversial shit. He's worth covering. And doing so gets you guys, the Eric July simps, to come over here and complain and give me watch time. It is fucking beautiful. It's a work of art. Let's see here. The Ripperverse is great. Need more creators like Eric. Yeah, I mean, if you enjoy it, cool. But here's my thing with Eric. Eric is a new kid on the block for comic book creating. I've said this to Stokes. I'll say it to Eric. You're new. You don't really get, all the clout yet, okay? You don't really get the respect from your peers yet until you put in some time into the game. It's just like being a wrestler and you're brand new in the WWE locker room. You're fucking nobody there, right? You got to prove your worth to the boys, Eric July, the only reason why he's successful in comics is he was successful in YouTube. So he's a YouTube celebrity. Any celebrity can put out a comic book and be wildly successful, good or shit. That's sort of my criticism. More and more comic book creators are quitting the game. Jason Doobie, the coolest last name in comics, says the struggle is real. Yeah. The Flock says the one thing I've learned the most in the past few months is how to do better at surviving. Yeah, I think 2024 is going to be a make it or break it year for creators. You're going to see guys who came on the block in the last few years during the COVID years drift off. You're going to see guys who've been at this long enough and still really haven't made a profit drift off. You're also going to see guys like me who've got a decade in the game now who is too stubborn to drift off. That's what you're going to see. The strong will make it, the weak will drop. Eric July is not the next Stan Lee. Stan Lee stole a lot of ideas and took credit for others' work. Let's not forget that part. Stan Lee was instrumental in the creation of a lot of that work. Yes, the artists like Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko definitely played their hands as well. But without Stan Lee giving out the ideas, what did they have to draw, honestly? Stan Lee came up with Spider-Man. Steve Ditko came up with the iconic suit. But without the initial idea of a Spider-Man, Steve Ditko never would have gotten his design. Right? I know that's not a popular opinion, but that's the truth. Let's see here. Eric July is not the next Stan Lee. This stuff has the same energy as Miles Morales as Spider-Man. Eric July is Stan Lee. Get the fuck out of here, you lamos. Well, Miles Morales is Miles Morales, right? The one and true Spider-Man is Peter Parker until Peter gives the mantle up to Miles and quits forever. Right? There's always only going to ever be one Batman. There's always ever going to be one real Superman. You can have 20 characters wear that S on their chest. It don't mean shit. I like it when coons like Eric, man, I don't know if that's appropriate. I don't even know what that means. I love it when blank like Eric gets that old-fashioned white, gets that old-fashioned white racism. Racism. But racism don't exist. They never learn until it's too late. Yeah. Look, there's nothing racist about anything we're saying. We're talking about one man being compared to another. Skin color doesn't matter. The accomplishments do. Okay? It's obvious he's not the next Stan Lee, but I think he can say it. Well, sure, I can say I'm the fucking Pope. It doesn't make it true. It's like K9 calling himself the next Steve Jobs. You got to channel that energy. That basically means fake it till you make it, right? Battle lines have been drawn in the comic book community. This is the Matt C. Nick Mueller video. Don't bring Forrester into this. He most likely wasn't referring to you. No, he was. He honestly got harassed last year and it messed with him. Look, Ronin Streamkiller. This video is old news. It's months ago, my friend. Months ago. You're a little late on the draw like a horse named McGraw from the cartoon Boom Shalock Lock Boom. Alright? Eric July is the next Stan Lee. I think Eric has done a great job of monetizing his audience. But that's it. And he's monetized him again for additional $30 per book. Plus membership fees to buy more books. Speaking as a classic animator, the characters all look like he used 3D models. The layouts have little camera flow and the costume designs are uninspired. Eric July is his own man. I hope so. Even Todd McFarlane, who's been around forever, John, forever, and has done a lot of different things with comics, can't hold a candle to Stan Lee. Stan Lee is a real legacy. Eric July has a real legacy. Eric July does not. And exactly how Stan Lee built that legacy, well, that remains to be in question. He was a legend already when he wrote his first story. Did he immediately sell millions of copies of his work when he first started? What's even in this video? What's in this video is me pointing out that until you can even be in the consideration to be the next Stan Lee, you have to put in 40 years worth of work. You have to put in ideas that stand the test of time. Okay, Eric July, in my humble opinion, will not even be around in 5 years doing comic books. He'll be on to some other fad. Stan Lee's work is going to last for centuries. That's my point. I'm not sure what this video creator is trying to achieve with the video. I just told you. He hasn't shown any stuff about Eric July comparing himself to Stan. Actually, I made that same complaint when I read the article. Also, the video maker says that the audience is who gets to decide whether Eric is a legend or not. Did I say that? Also, the fans are making the comparison. The point of the video is to try and dissuade the audience? Yes. Yes, the point of the video is to try to educate the audience that Eric July is not the next Stan Lee and not even close. That is exactly the purpose of the video. Scrolling down to the Spider-Man one. Hail Nyobi, own your enemies from the Geek Getaway. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to pin that comment, right? Can we pin that comment? I'm sure if I went into the video, I can pin that comment. He may not be the next Stan Lee, back to Eric, but he's definitely bringing something new to the table for comic fanatics. A black man in spandex, is that the new thing? Not really. There are way better indie comic readers out there than Eric. Have you ever read Comment America? Yes. Hate. He's basically doing what he accuses MM of doing. He is a right-wing justice warrior grifting the weak-minded, and you are his pay pigs. Look, buy what you want to buy. I'm just saying he's not the next Stan Lee. I'm not saying people don't go get his fucking comic. If you think his comic is worth reading, if you think his comic is worth flipping, which is probably what most majority of people are buying it for, then go ahead and get it, you know? And stand up for Eric July. It's great. Come feed the algorithm of my YouTube channel. It appreciates it. Not gonna lie, this is my first time hearing about Eric July. We'll give you a like. Listen to 3 minutes of the video and stop because I know it's gonna be another 30 minutes of hatred and cope. Cool. Saying Brog gives off his first impressions before he can get into the topic. I already feel like the guy just wants to bitch and moan. I love these simps, man. It's great. Eric July is the next Eric July. Most don't like him for his political views, but I judge based on the content of character. A black man that has unapologetically doing his own thing. Don't get better than that. You have lots of black men doing their own thing. You guys talk like this is some breakthrough. Black men and white men are equal. We all have equal opportunity. In fact, there are a lot more successful black men that I can even name. You know what I'm saying? They've done and made their marks in society in a variety of different ways. Saying a black man's doing his own thing is not a big accomplishment. We're all men. And we all do our own thing. Stan Lee's characters are being destroyed by Disney. And it's sad. Yes, it is. That's a long one to read, so I'm not going to read that one on air because I just don't want to read a book. It's all about the supply and demand. If you can see people want non-woke products, he is supplying what the people want. Is he, though? Because Comicsgate has been doing that now for years, John. Years. And there's still no real headway in that department either. There is no void left by Marvel and DC. They are losing the market to Viz Media and Shonen Jump. This is going back to Mark Millar suggests 50% royalty for creators. I think he'll be the first Eric July. Oops, he already is. I think that seems to be a recurring theme here. Back to the Spider-Man video. No, because the 616 Spider-Man still made a deal with the devil, and the marriage that was really entertaining is still gone. They already restored the marriage in the newspaper continuality. Renew Your Vows, MC2, and that sort of reign, but none of these but all of those got canceled, and not one of them did exactly suggest that marriage was a good thing. Marriage is a good thing. Renew Your Vows was great. So until the successful deal is retoned, he's still Satanic Spider-Man? Is Spider-Man Satan? A Satanist? Next video. As you can see, so I never get this many comments, man, ever. Right? So once a week or so, maybe we can go in here and we could just do, you know, videos like video comments, commentary. The Wonk says, or the next Jack Kirby regarding to the Stan Lee Eric July video. These comic book rates are too damn high. Thank God I'm my own artist, says Ronan Streamkiller. This is why so many artists opt out to do pinups and cover work instead of interiors. Easier work for much higher pay, says The Rock. Eric July and EVS are at war. I don't think it's two big guys with big egos. I just think it's Eric's inability to take basic criticism. Doesn't seem to like that too much, does he? I'll be lurking every now and then, says TJ Laser. No worries. I will try and put the Geek Gateway watchers to task watching your content. We appreciate that because we got to own our enemies. I know you guys feature some great indie comic creators. Keep doing the Lord's work in good faith. I didn't know we were doing the Lord's work, but here we are. First, do not give a doodle about mainstream media. The top 10 commandments in comics. That's got a comment. Again, a lot of this is Eric July centered, right? But it's good to see that people are watching whether you like it or hate it. Too many companies. Now, this is about late comics hurts us all. Too many campaigns, I should say, are 2 years late. Comics are a serialized medium. If you cannot put out those books on a regular basis, how do you expect to compete with the mainstream? Great video. Takes forever to make these books. Months. Sometimes years, John. Years. And, you know, with the big two, they got their books made 6 months in advance. That's how they're able to sort of keep up. With indies, you know, you're struggling to keep up with the pages of your first book. But I gotta get going. We'll read one more. Thanks for pointing out my mistakes. I know I'm terrible at names. That's from a review. Good vid, Cryptocomics. I'm convinced Mike wouldn't know professionalism if it ran a Polar Express on him and DM'd him the footage of what took place regarding the Wheelers. There you go. So guys, go ahead and leave comments. Maybe I will read them on the air. Maybe I will read them on the air just like I did now. I am reading your comments. I am responding to your comments. It's been a lot of fun. It's been interesting to see the haters and lovers all come out at once. But guys, there's more. Let's talk about today's sponsor. I wonder who that will be. All right, so here we go. Quick look at the Nyobi eBay store. So if you're missing any back issues of Nyobi, you're missing any of those really hard to find variant covers of Nyobi, or you just want to see what I got on the go, come over to eBay, Nyobicomic, and check it out. Just a couple of highlights here. We got Nyobi Outbreak number 2, the Jamie Tyndall variant. We got Nyobi Outbreak number 1, the Paul Green variant. We got our Todd McFarlane homage from Nyobi Origins number 1. How about Rags and Nyobi teaming up together on the very first cover right here? Birthright number 1, never to be reprinted, very low print run. Greg Bo Watson from Zenoscope, man. CB Zane with our new project Savage Sin. You like Red Sonja, you like Lady Death, you like Tarna from Heavy Metal. Perhaps Savage Sin is up your alley. We got Steph Wilson variants. We got Matthew Weldon variants. We got RB White variants. I got a Spider-Man hardcover book. Dudes. And I'm going to be adding more tonight and over the next couple of days. It is the eBay store, Nyobi eBay store. Hail to the pigtail. Come check it out today.